Hello everybody, it's me Kieran from FM Scout and I'm finally back. I have been away from a while. A few things before I do get straight into this video. The British National Challenge, I'm not sure what's going on with that at the minute. I will not be uploading Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays from now on. We do have some new members on the channel, as you may be able to see. We've got Addicted to FM and we have a few others who I'm not yet acquainted with, but we'll get acquainted with in the next few days or so. But other than that, today's video is what if Patrick Vieira was in fact at Newcastle. Now there has been very heavy speculation that he is going to be the next manager of Newcastle United. Patrick Vieira, for those of you who don't know, he's an Arsenal legend, won many trophies. He's now currently a manager in the reserves of Manchester City. He's been heavily linked with the Newcastle job since the end of this season, since John Carver left. Originally, Steve McLaren, the head coach of Derby, was heavily linked with the Newcastle job, but apparently he turned down to go there in favour to stay at Derby, but now Derby have sacked Steve McLaren regardless. So even Steve McLaren could go there, but the heaviest name linked with Newcastle at the moment is Patrick Vieira. So we're going to do a little experiment. There was another experiment video yesterday, which I will link you to in the description, and that was what if Rafa Benitez actually did go to Real Madrid. But this one is Patrick Vieira. So what we're going to do is I've started and I've come up to the 4th of February, so we're going to see how Patrick Vieira has done with Newcastle, if he is still in the job, and if so, where are they right now. So going on to their profile, as you can see here, 8th in Barclays Premier League. Patrick Vieira still is the manager, which is good. So I'm going to click on the Premier League. So the 8th position there, not too bad, you know, just below the chasing pack, the very top teams in the league there. They've got a good solid 36 points, which is almost guaranteed them safety already from the Premier League. Seems to be doing a good job. Let's have a look at their fixtures since he took over, and we'll have a look at some of the signings and such that he's made. So he won the Tyne Weir derby against Sunderland. That couldn't have gone any better. A great result for him to start off with, and I'm guaranteed that the Geordie fans would have loved him for that. But then they wouldn't been too happy of having a 2-0 loss against Leicester. You would have expected them to beat MK Dons, and they did. A 2-2 draw with Stoke followed by a 4-1 victory over Hull. They then went on a very bad streak here, as you can see. A loss to Man City, then to West Brom, QPR, a draw with West Brom again, a loss to Arsenal, a draw with Everton, a draw with Burnley, a loss to West Ham before finally getting that win against Palace, then losing to Southampton and Swansea before getting a very good victory against Man United, then drawing with Chelsea, claiming 3 points away at Anfield, and then gaining a full 3 points at home against Tottenham. Then they drew against Villa, and then a second win in the Tyne Weir derby against Sunderland. That's 2 from 2 this season. Vieira has done very well in that retrospect. He then drew in the FA Cup final against Norwich, then beat Leicester the next game, and then beat Norwich in the replay 2-0. Then beat Stoke, drew with Everton, beat Hull City, and in his last game he lost 1-0 to Manchester City. But now he's got Everton in the FA Cup next. He's had a good solid all-round season so far, and we'll see how he is come the end of this season. So I guess I'll see you then. Okay guys, we are back, and we're at the very end of season 1, so we're going to go ahead and see how Newcastle and Vieira has done this season. So looking there, they look like they've had a 9th finish in the table there. Patrick Vieira still the manager, very good as it looks. Let's have a look at some of their fixtures. They're still in the FA Cup, are they? 6th round replay. They knocked out Arsenal, but they lost in the semi-final to West Ham 2-0, which isn't good. Other than that, mixed bag of results altogether there. They've managed to accumulate a 9th position finish. Let's have a look at how the table is in the Premier League though. So Man City won the Premier League by a clear 3 points. United finishing 2nd, Chelsea claiming 3rd, and Arsenal forever taking that 4th position. Southampton got a very well-deserved 5th place finish. Liverpool finishing in 6th. Tottenham hitting that 7th spot. Hull City with a surprising 8th place finish. Newcastle just finishing 4 points behind them. West Brom finishing with a minus goal difference. Newcastle ending the season on a very sound 0 goal difference there. Other than that, the teams to go down, Leicester, Sunderland and Crystal Palace. QPR surviving there by a good 5 points. Then Burnley, quite a long way off getting relegated. Benteke, the top goal scorer in the league this season. Falco just behind on 22. Aguero with the most man of the matches. Most assists has come from Mark Noble, who is tied alongside Felipe Coutinho. Most yellow cards has been Wes Morgan, and the most amount of clean sheets has surprisingly been Alan McGregor of Hull City. So that's how Patrick Vieira did first season. We're going to come back now at the end of season 2, and we'll see how he's done then. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, we're back and it's the end of season 2, 2016, the 25th of May. Let's go have a look how Newcastle United have done this season. Press on that. And as you can see there, 5th in the Barclays Premier League there. They've gained the Europa League qualification, finishing 4 points just off Liverpool, off that Champions League place, which is very unfortunate. At one point, they were 2nd in the league, but it seemed to have dropped off a little bit. Diego Costa being the top goal scorer this season. Coutinho getting the most man of the matches. Most assists coming from Matt Ritchie of Bournemouth. Wigan, QPR, West Brom all have been relegated this season. Other than that, nothing much else to say there. Vieira is still at Newcastle. He's done well. Let's have a look at some of his fixtures this season that he's had. So he lost in the 4th round of the Capital One Cup to Liverpool. Any other important cups? Let's have a look. He's made it to the FA Cup 6th round. He won in the semi-cap. They beat Arsenal in the FA Cup final 3-0 there. So there's a trophy to their name. He's managed to lift up the FA Cup trophy. 3-0 Remy Cabella, Philip Jordevic, Siem de Jong all getting goals there. Gabriel Paulista being sent off for Arsenal. So they've won the FA Cup. They've done well in this Premier League season. Going on to the transfers that they've made this season. They didn't make any in the first season, but they have definitely been busy this season. Alexander Dragovic from Dynamo Kiev signed for a fee of 5.75 million. This guy, he is very, very good on the game. I would recommend actually signing him, so they've got a good deal there signing him. They signed Seamus Coleman for a fee of 8.5 million from Everton, and Filip Djordjevic for 2.8 million from Lazio. He is a striker. He's not too bad. They also signed Balas Zudzak, something like that, for 300k. I'm guessing he's just like a backup winger. He's not too bad. Joe Ward from Crystal Palace for 3.8 million. Can't see any of his stats, but he looks okay. And then finally, Emmanuel Emenike, the tank that is, 3.2 million. The one with like 50 billion strength is just absolutely tank. Any FIFA people watching this all know who Emenike is, as he's absolute tank in FIFA as well. So he joined Newcastle, 25 apps this season, 9 goals, 58 apps for Fenerbahce, 33 goals while he was there. So he's done well, he's done very well at Newcastle, and so has Patrick Vieira in that retrospect. They sold Daryl Janmaat to PSG along with Jose Perez to Porto for 7.75 million. Oliver Kevin, I don't know who he is, he went out for 2.9 million. And Emmanuel Riviere went to FC Lorient for 1.2 million. Mehdi Abeid to Chef Wednesday. Shane Ferguson to Brentford. Kevin Mbabu to Grasshoppers. Other than that, just loans out there. Paul Dummett to Derby there, my team. Not a bad signing for them. Other than that, Newcastle have done well this season. Everton are without our manager now. Let's see how the teams in the Championship did. So Watford have come up after beating Ipswich in the playoff final. Let's actually take a look though at the league table, see who got promoted. So Leicester, Palace, both came back up along with Watford. Teams going down, Doncaster, Bradford and Blackburn there. Other than that, a very mixed league. I get the feeling that Derby went down last season, and I haven't loaded up the lower leagues, so I guess they have, which is very disappointing for me. But yeah, anyway, so that's season 2. We're going to go ahead and get into season 3 now. So I'll see you at the end of season 3. Okay, guys, and we're back, and we are now in 2019, and finally Patrick Vieira has been given the axe by Newcastle. They've done very well, in fact, since he took over, but he's finally got the axe now, having a poor season this year. So going ahead and looking at how he finished and how he got the sack, they finished 9th this season on 51 points. Not good compared to their previous seasons. So looking at the previous seasons, going over everything they have done, they had a very poor season this year in terms of how they've been in every other season. They've had some good results. They beat Real Madrid there 3-1. Other than that, not really any sort of standout results, in my opinion. They drew 0-0 with Juventus there. I don't think there's anything other important. I don't know whether they got knocked out or whether they won the Champions League. I'm not sure. We'll take a look here. No, they got knocked out in the first knockout round by Juventus in the second leg. But other than their fixtures this season, not too great. Last season, let's take a look. Last season, they did finish 4th. The season before that, 5th. Season before that, 9th. 10th, 16th, so on, so on. To view the history, they did finish Champions League qualifiers, though. They've done very well. So this season, last season, sorry, 4th. Season before that, 4th. Season before that, 5th. And the first season they finished 9th. And other than that, they did really well. They had Champions League for 2 seasons, and they had Europa League. Did pretty well under him. Signings-wise, let's have a look how they did in their transfer histories. For this season, they signed Besic for 3.5 million, Dzeko for 650k, and Ayman Abendanoa for 14 million. Let's just take a look at his stats there, because I haven't seen him before, and it doesn't seem to be responding. There you go. Oh, he's not that great. I'm not sure I would have paid 14 million for him myself. The season, oh wait, in fact, before we carry on, going out this season, Dawiyamat, so they must have brought him back. He went to Juventus, Emenike to Moscow, Tiote to Rubin, Armstrong to Ipswich, and Papi Cisse to Cardiff. Going back the season before, they brought in Omer Toprak, Solomon Kalou, Nicholas Lopez, Joe Allen, Ludwig Augustinsson, and Chris Jones. Going out of the club for 10.5 million, well, 10.25 is Davide Santon. Sim de Jong also leaving. The previous season to that, Giovinco came in for 4.7 million, Oleg Shatov 2.1, Divock Origi on loan, Daryl Yamat, they bought him back from PSG for 9 million, Jan Vertonghen for 12 million, and going out of the club was Alexander Dragovic to Dortmund for 17.5 million, Joe Ward to United for 12.5, Stefan Broccoli to Cagliari for 2 million, Paul Dummett to Derby, Gail Bigger-Ramana to Derby, Jorn Gorkuf to Bordeaux. Other than that, Freddie Woodmill, Jonas Gutierrez leaving the club, Jack Allenwick and Callum Roberts, the rest leaving on frees and loans. And in the season before that, we've already been through them guys who they signed. So would you say Patrick Vieira was a success at Newcastle? I'd personally say he was. In the 5 seasons that he did have charge, he did manage to get Newcastle to Champions League football and into Europa League. So I think he's done very well there. He won a few trophies underneath them for Newcastle. You know, he won the FA Cup, I think, and he won some other trophies, not quite being able to remember what they were, but he did very well at Newcastle. Will this be a real life sort of managerial situation? Well, I do believe that Vieira could go to Newcastle in real life, but whether he emulates the same success as in Football Manager, it is yet to be seen. I do believe Newcastle have the potential to be a Champions League football team, but whether that potential is brought out by Vieira is yet to be seen by the fans and everyone who follows football. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this experiment, then give it a like and share it about with all your friends. I have started a brand new channel for myself, a personal channel, so that'll be in the description for you guys. And yeah, if you have enjoyed it, like it. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then what are you waiting for? Become a scout today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.